it's great to see that kind of movement from a Petit Chablis to a Chablis. And when you talk about, a bit more simple, still great, but more simple in terms of Petit Chablis, then you can move on to the Chablis itself. And it's almost like, going from the G League in basketball to the NBA, it kind of like just grows. For me, it's that richness, complexity, density of that wine that kind of comes through.
Yeah.
I said to you before, kind of like churned butter, clotted cream. And I'm starting to get a bit of like kind of caramelized, kind of baked peaches as well, kind of come through.
Today, we're going to find out what makes Chablis special. I'm Jason.
And I'm Trent. And we're here on our unfiltered, unapologetically unprofessional wine journey. And we're saying here, Jace.
Our saying is drink more, try more, learn more. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
So thoughts of the week. What have I been thinking about? So I've been thinking about wine and how wine tends to go through different phases.
Yep.
In terms of fashions and trends.
Yep.
Okay, so when I talk about, wine and fashion, I want to talk about how there's similarities in the two and then the kind of overlap between the two worlds. When I think about this creativity from fashion in terms of different styles, different colors, different cutting, etc., like that, to creativity in wines, different grape varieties, different blends, different styles that you're trying to create. Attention to detail, similarly, attention to detail from the vine to the wine, and same with attention to detail in terms of the handbags, the pants, the clothing that you kind of create. Seasonality as well, there are seasons around it, from different seasons around styles of wine that you create, and different seasons in terms of the different clothes that you also create as well. And the journey from a raw product for wine is from grape to wine, and the journey for raw product in terms of, leather to a purse or something like that.
Yep.
In the case of fashion. So we've seen that before in terms of not so much fashion, but celebrity in wines, and they kind of overlap the influx of celebrities into the wine world. But we're beginning to see more of that in terms of fashion into the wine world as well. Okay, so when you think about it, you have like fashion houses owning wineries. Think Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy.
Yes.
They're Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, they're two are part of the same company. And there are numerous both fashion brands and also wineries as well. Another one, for example, that I didn't know was Chanel.
Oh, right.
So Chanel own Bordeaux winery Chateau Rosensegler and Chateau Canon.
Right. I didn't know that.
There's different types of collaborations as well. There's Dolce & Gabbana, D&G, that creates the labels for Donna Fugato in Sicily. And we also talked about the one recently as well with Nigo and Penfolds,
yes.
In terms of the labels, the bags, the packaging, etc., like that. So different levels of collaboration. The next level of collaboration around products as well, which I thought I found quite interesting, between Stella McCartney and Veuve
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to quote from the website. They're pioneering a grape-based alternative to animal leather made from the byproducts of Veuve Clicquot's harvest. The collaboration collection consists of 3 framey bags, which is just a bag, a bottle holder that perfectly houses a bottle of Veuve Clicquot yellow label, fancy that, and 2 Elise sandals, which feature a platform wedge made from recycled cork collected from Veuve Clicquot as a mix of pre- and post-consumer waste from its cellars and reams.
That's taken it to another level.
It is taking another level. So it's interesting how there is that kind of overlap now, both from in terms of fashion-owning wineries to label collaboration to actually creating different products in fashion using the byproducts of wine. So I don't know. What are your thoughts around it?
I thought Dan Eggleton kind of summed it up nicely with Ben Murray Wines in saying that really wine is art and fashion is a form of art as well.
Yeah.
You get to use your creativity and imagination to produce a product that rightly or wrongly people will like or not, but it represents what you've created. So it does make sense. They're both quite similar.
Yeah. I think yes and no. I feel sometimes with some of those haute couture, like the high culture kind of brands like Chanel, Louis Vuitton, if they can't start to play into it, will they start creating a product that's unachievable to many rather than making something a bit more attainable to the mass? They create that exclusivity in terms of fashion products. Well, they start having that same influence in terms of product, in terms of wine as well. And therefore, the Joes like us can't afford it, but then ultra rich driving the Ferraris can then have all those kind of Bordeaux wines and Burgundy wines.
Yeah, I guess to me it's just part of the luxury offering. Like you've got those fashion houses that are luxury premium designer, they're way too expensive. They're there for a reason, and then you've got those that are more affordable. Correct. Yeah, that's right. So we need a Uniqlo wine, is that what we're saying? Yeah.
Which is, I think, is Audi. I know, that's my thoughts of the week. What are you thinking about?
So I've been thinking about Chablis, and it is the topic for discussion today. I did it's now become my favorite white wine. And I'll be honest, I haven't had much of it, but I've had enough to go, wow, I'm interested.
What grape is Chablis though?
Well, and we'll dive into it. We'll dive exactly into that because I've got some interesting facts that make Chablis special.
Can't wait.
But before I do that, the way I experienced it, I was in a work conference, to be honest, in Brisbane, and I had a chance on Chablis, and it was after work, and I was sipping on it probably for about an hour.
Yeah.
And I was just loving every single different dimension that I was feeling.
I want to be at your work. I'm having Carlton Drafts and you're having Chablis.
I paid for it.
Oh,
so, yeah, that was my challenge. But it absolutely piqued my interest. And so going back to what we were discussing in terms of varieties, I wanted to share 5 special facts that make Chablis special.
Yeah.
How many times can I say special in a sentence? I've just done it two times.
Oh, that's very special of you.
That's right. Thank you. There was a quote that I'd read while picking up these facts, and it was from Rosemary George, who was one of the first masters of wine. Yeah. And to me, it kind of sums up why it's so special. Chablis is Chardonnay, but not every Chardonnay is Chablis. Right?
That's deep, man.
It is deep, and I had to think about it as well. I saw your eyes.
I know.
You had to process that. But as we go through these facts, you'll understand why. Yeah. So let's kick off with the 5 special facts about Chablis that make them special.
Wow.
The first one is about location. Chablis is in Burgundy. But actually the French don't call it Burgundy. I didn't know this. You've been to France, so probably something that you've experienced and well understood. Is that right?
So. But you enlighten me.
Yeah. So Chablis is in the northwest of Burgundy, in a department. That sounded a bit French.
Yeah.
Called Yonne, and the English name is Burgundy for the region, but they actually call it Bourgogne. Is that right? Did I say that right? Far out.
Or boogers.
It did sound like boogers. And that's why I wrote it down in my notes, booger knee. That's basically how I wrote it down. But I've seen these on bottles before, and I'm like, I wonder if that's the same thing. It is the same thing. So interesting fact that makes it special. Chablis is part of Burgundy. The French actually call it Bourgogne.
A Bourgogne.
That's right. Number 2. Right? The soils are made from fossilised oyster shells. Like, how many wines are made from fossilised oyster shells? I don't know, but I know it's done in Chablis. So Chablis, it stands out because of its minerality. Its saltiness is what I call it. We had a discussion with Chris Tyrrell, and Chris Tyrrell said he likes to describe it as oyster shells. Mm-hmm. I wonder why. It's because there's bloody fossilised oyster shells in the soil.
Yeah, but I think there's also debate about, does that translate into the wine itself?
Yeah.
If I grow wine in cow dung, does it mean it tastes like cow dung?
I feel like it would. And if you do grow it in cow dung, I'm not going to buy your wine.
That is fertilizer though, right? I don't know.
So the soil is a large part of what makes it special. Chablis is in a basin. So a long time ago, it was actually under the water, which is why there'd be oysters, fossilized oyster shells in there. The soil is actually 150 million years old.
That's a long time. That's a lot of oysters.
That's right. It's called Kimmeridgian soil. It's a blend of limestone, clay, fossilized oyster shells, and that's what gives it its unique minerality.
Can you say that again?
Clay, limestone, clay, fossilized oyster
K
shells.
word, the K word.
The soil, Kimmeridgian.
Kimmeridgian?
Kimmeridgian,
yeah.
So that's another interesting fact. And as we go through these top facts, I do want to taste a few of the wines here.
Yeah.
And so one of them that we've got is this Petit Chablis. It's a Domaine Christian Moreau. And we got this from MS Sellers. We got it for about $65 from MS Sellers. And I think you've been having a try. Have you tried that one just then? What are you getting?
So initially, you're right. Would I say oyster shell? Maybe minerality, saline coming through, more of a lighter style, bright acidity. You can see even with the color. It's quite clear, crisp type of wine. But it does for me kind of has a bit kind of like roundness and kind of heat to it that kind of comes through. That's actually quite nice.
Yeah.
But it's not overwhelming in terms of aromas, but it's just there's a hint that kind of keeps on lingering on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very solid wine, and for Petit Chablis, it's pretty good. But what's the difference between a Petit Chablis and a Chablis?
We'll get to that in other interesting facts. I do think that roundness seems to be a hallmark of a Chablis, as well as a bit of that minerality. But it's actually for $65 for a Chablis. It is a Petit Chablis. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Does that mean it's a small Chablis?
Petit does mean that, but it does mean other things as well, and it's used as the classification. We'll get to that. Let me talk about the interesting fact number 3.
Yeah.
Which we've probably already discussed, so someone's probably already guessed it. There's only one grape variety in Chablis. Chardonnay. That's close. Chardonnay.
Okay.
So they're really focused in the region. And in fact, historically, they did grow other varieties. So Gamay was one of the reds that was grown in the area, but you get through phylloxera, you get through the wars, you come down to see what's really good in the area and what fits within this limestone soil. It's the Chardonnay that really shines. And so they've made this decision that Chablis is only going to have that one grape variety, Chardonnay, in there. Must make it special. The fourth item of note, which is quite special and interesting, is they freeze their buds.
Yeah.
Because it's so cold. So because of the climate in the area, the spring frost can come across quite often.
Yeah.
And it can damage your grapes.
Yeah.
So there's a variety of techniques that they use to protect the grapes. And one of them is actually spraying water so that the water will go onto the bud, freeze up because it's cold, and effectively encase it like an igloo. So the bud's protected from those 0-degree temperatures and can keep warm. Again, very special fact about Chablis.
Didn't know that.
Right? And then the last point, the fifth point about what makes Chablis special is the appellations. And we've tried one. You were talking about it, the Petit Chablis. So the appellations, they're designed based on the location and the aspect of the sun. There's 4 of them. Petit Chablis is on the outer edge of that plateau, that basin that we were talking about. It's got hard brown soils. It's about 230 to 280 meters high in elevation. The soils are a bit younger. So it seemed to be a bit fresher, a bit less complex.
Yes.
Than the next remaining 3 tiers. The next appellation is Chablis, and Chablis is spread between the right and left bank of the river Surun, if that's how you pronounce it. Slightly more complicated than Chablis.
Yeah.
And that's actually the next one that we're having. So maybe have a taste of that.
I had it go already.
While we trial through the others, you were going to say something?
And it's great to see that kind of movement from a Petit Chablis to a Chablis. And when you talk about, a bit more simple, it's still great, but more simple in terms of Petit Chablis, then you can move on to the Chablis itself. And it's almost like, going from, the G League and basketball to the NBA. It kind of like just grows. For me, it's that richness, complexity, density of that wine that kind of comes through.
Yeah.
I said to you before, kind of like churned butter, clotted cream. And I'm starting to get a bit of like kind of caramelized, kind of baked peaches as well, kind of come through, with a hint off the back around kind of like roasted hazelnuts. So I just love that complexity, different layers. And it's still developing now after like half an hour. Yeah.
That caramel flavor really shines through. I think in a previous episode you talked about apple tartare.
Yeah.
And that's what comes through. It's great complexity in comparison to the others. Do you feel that the Petit Chablis is a bit lighter?
Yeah, it's definitely lighter, and it's almost gives it a bit of a zing on the tongue. That oyster shell salinity, minerality comes through. A lot fresher. And then, so this is more your aperitif, like your starting wine. This is like your main course. Yeah.
So let me just show this bottle of wine to the screen. And thanks to Our Heart Wine, Mark Malouf. This is a Chablis 2020. It's a Eleni Edouard Vocoret, if that's how you pronounce it, Chablis. And we picked it up for about $95, and that's a delicious wine.
Yeah, so when we spoke to Mark about this one, it was, even though it's Chablis, it's kind of like nudging towards kind of premiercru level. So it's kind of like bang for buck. $95. But then Premier Cru, you're probably looking like 100, 200 plus,
Yes.
dollars. So it's actually like good value. And you can tell by just trying it now, it is complex.
Yeah.
It is rich. It is sumptuous. It's everything I'm looking for.
It's a thinking wine, which is a good segue because let's talk about the third appellation, Premier Cru. So there's 40 regions labeled as Premier Cru, and they have more exposure to the sun and a steeper gradient. They do say that Premier Cru of the four is the best value, but I get what you're saying. It depends on how deep your pockets are. Yeah. Particularly if you can choose some of the Premier Crus that are next to the Grand Crus. So Boucheran and Monte di Tonere. If that sounds Italian the way I pronounce it.
Oh yeah.
So that's the third appellation. We go to the last one. Grand Cru, there's 7 of these regions. They've got the best sunny location, and they're in the upper Jurassic era of soil. So limestone, marl, oyster fossils. So really intense mineral and flinty and mushroom flavors. Yeah. And the best one is apparently Le Clos, which is said to be majestic, rich, and fragrant. Have you ever tried a Grand Cru?
I have not tried a Chablis Grand Cru before.
Yeah.
But maybe you could get one for me next time.
Maybe I could.
Yeah.
If I could afford it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So look, those are the 5 special facts about Chablis that make it special. It's located in Burgundy. They don't call it Burgundy. It's in soils with fossilised oyster shells. It's one grape variety. They freeze their buds to protect it. And there's 4 appellations across it. So hopefully that's shared a bit of knowledge around Chablis. I do want to talk about this last one and the Petit as well and do some tasting notes, and then we can do a bit of a corkscrew rating. So let's talk about the Chablis, which is the last one we tasted. And looking at iHeart Wine, these wines are located between Grand Crus, Domaine and Volan. The nose shows yellow florals with white peach, pear, a hint of tropicals, and subtle herbaceous notes. In the mouth, it's juicy, beautifully balanced, seductively textured, and dries with elegance and confidence through to a long tail that is sparkling with minerality and bright with refreshing acidity. Awesome! Exclamation mark. Do any of those descriptions resonate with you?
Peaches, yes. It still has that acidity to it. But I do think it has this kind of richness to it for me, especially go from Petit to the Chablis. And you mentioned kind of it's near Montmartre, and we had a Montmartre Moreau in the day before. It's very similar style.
Yeah.
That kind of like apple tartare kind of comes through. But yeah, crack of a wine.
The finish is amazing. And that caramel kind of finish in there, it tastes so good. You're right. Rich is the right way to describe it. Let me just read a few of the tasting notes from the Petit Chablis. So this comes from vineyards atop a hill of Grand Cru, just meters from Grand Cru Valmont. On the nose, this wine offers enticing aromas of chalk, hazelnut, and green apple, complemented by hints of ripe yellow plum. The palate is crisp and refreshing with a live acidity that brings a sense of vibrancy to the wine. It offers a delightful combination of freshness and depth. With its excellent balance and elegant structure, it is true representation of the Chablis style. Any of that resonate with you?
Yeah, I don't know. I think when I think about minerality, that's what I think of. Not so much the Chablis that we had. So that's what
I agree.
So I think it's more that kind of refreshing line of acidity type of wine. It's not, when you think about, like ripping acidity, it's not a Riesling, but it also has that kind of fullness of body. It's not like Tasmanian Chardonnays that I've had recently. It has a bit more lighter, kind of cool climate. This has a bit more kind of richness to it.
Yeah.
But it's not as rich as the Chablis.
Yeah, there's a clear distinction between the two. Yeah. And if we think about price, the Petit Chablis $65, the Chablis $95. What do you think in terms of bang for buck? Do you think those are good value items?
I think so. Like for me, I would probably go to 95. I think 95 is cracking value for that type of wine.
Yeah, it really stands out. It's quite a special wine. Let's talk about corkscrews.
For me, I'll start with the Chablis first, 9 out of 10. Yep. The Petit Chablis, 7 out of 10.
Yeah, completely agree. Both good, and I'd agree with the numbers there. That Chablis itself is special. Thanks to Mark for suggesting it and recommending it. I'm keen to hear what everyone else thinks in the community below. If you've got any recommendations on Petit Chablis or Chablis, let us know. We do notice the creaminess of the Chablis, and so we've also got this churned butter, Australian cultured butter from Pepe here in front of us. The creaminess of the butter should go quite well with either of these. And I'm going to try it with the Petit Chablis to give it a go. But this is one of my favorite things to have, butter on toast. What do you think?
Or butter on baguette. So again, when I talked about churned butter before, you can't have enough butter. So butter with butter equals butter squared. And that's what I think. Love it.
Yeah. I'm still going through that mathematical calculation, but the creaminess...
Butter times butter, sorry.
Yeah. They definitely work together. That was delicious. So that's a bit about Chablis. Do you think that Chablis is special?
It is most definitely special. Go and try it.
Absolutely. Again, let us know if you've got any recommendations on the Chablis. As we like to say here, drink more, try more, learn more.
See you guys.